This is only the beginning of the end of kickoffs. At least that's the opinion of Texas coach Tom Herman after considering the biggest rule change for 2018. And he is not alone. I have told our coaches before we retire, I firmly believe you're not going to see kickoffs. That prospect seems closer than ever before after the NCAA Playing Rules Oversight Panel this week rubber-stamped a proposal. Beginning this fall, 2018, when a player fair catches a kickoff inside the 25-yard line, the result will be a touchback. The ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line. To reiterate, essentially anywhere a player signals for a fair catch, it will result on the offense starting at minimum their own 25-yard line. It will be much more difficult to pin opposing teams deep in their own territory. Alabama coach Nick Saban has a simpler solution that seems to satisfy a lot of people. Move the kickoff to the 40-yard line. That better assures a touchback. When you go back and kick the ball out of the end zone, nobody gets blocked, Saban said. If a guy fair catches the ball, by the time he decides whether he's going to fair catch or not, they would have done most of the contact. I guess I would have chose a different way to do it, said Saban. The intent, as usual, is player safety. Studies have shown that the intensity of injuries are increased on kickoffs. This despite kickoffs making up only a small percentage of total plays during a college football game. At issue is eliminating a component of football that is as old as the game itself. In 2012, the kickoff was moved from the 30 to the 35 to increase the likelihood of touchbacks. Touchbacks immediately increased by 50%. That same year, touchbacks were moved from the 20 to the 25-yard line. That supposedly gave returning teams more incentive to fair catch the ball. Spotting the ball 5 yards closer to the opposition's end zone mathematically increased the likelihood of scoring on any given drive. The primary challenge with kicking in football is that you have a kicking team that's running full speed and you've got a receiving team that's trying to diffuse that. Therein lies the problem from a pure physics standpoint. Ever since former Rutgers coach Greg Schiano floated the idea of eliminating kickoffs 7 years ago, the football world has reacted in varying degrees. There was the usual put 'em in skirts reaction from the Joe Sixpack fan who decried a reduction in physicality. Then there was a bit more reasoned thought as head trauma became a larger issue. To boil it all down, not only are players safer without the collisions involved in a kickoff, legal liability is lessened. The latter will get the attention of the NCAA more than anything. Schiano first put the idea in everybody's head in 2011. That was after Rutgers player Eric Legrand was paralyzed during a kickoff against Army in 2010. Schiano suggested that the scoring team take over the ball on its own 30 on a 4th and 15 play. Then the team can either punt it away in lieu of a kickoff or go for it as a method of retaining possession, rather than attempt an onside kick like today. Statistics show that injuries on punt aren't as bad or as frequent as on kickoffs. The idea gained traction. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell first suggested the idea of eliminating kickoffs in December 2012. Now we enter 2018 with essentially a 35-yard arena in which to fair catch the ball on kickoffs. The hardest part for coaches to wrap their head around is the arbitrary yard line to put the ball on, especially if you have an elite returner or an elite guy who has that skill, said Herman. Maybe on average, when this guy returns a kick, your offense is starting on the 34-yard line. You're going to take that 9 yards away from that team every time you fair catch. The rule change doesn't eliminate the onside kick, but does impact the so-called sky kick. Nick Saban is a fan of blooping the ball high and giving his kickoff coverage team enough time to pin down a returner. With the enhanced touchback zone, you still got to go cover because a guy could fumble, said Saban. Remember, this may only be the beginning.